Cell array is a special kind of array that has two pieces of information. One is the location of the data, and the other is the data itself. The location of the data is organized in the cell array. There are two ways to create a cell array. The first method is to create the array itself without the data. You can do it using the function cell. The use is very similar to the functions like zeros and ones. All you need to do is to provide the dimensions of the array. Here we're going to create a cell array A that has 2 by 2 sizes. After we run the statement, you can see we create a 2 by 2 cell array, but there is no data associated with the array. You can also create the array with the data. The process is very similar. The only difference is that you need to use a curly bracket instead of the bracket, as you did in a regular array creation. You use comma or space to separate items within the row, and use semicolon to change the row. Here we're going to create a 2 by 2 cell array with the first array element value as a character string ABCD, and the last array element value as a 3 by 3 numerical array. Here you can see that we create a 2 by 2 cell array with the element at first row, first column, and the second row, second column have their own data. You can visualize a cell array using the function called cell plot. Here you can see that this is a 2 by 2 cell array with data only in the first row, first column cell and the second row, second column cell. If you want to use a cell array, you need to do the indexing. As we mentioned earlier, there are two pieces of information in a cell array. Therefore, there's two ways to index a cell array. If you just use a parenthesis as you did in a regular array, what you get is a reference to the data, or we call it the location of the data. In MATLAB, it will display the description of the data. Here is the example. So as you see that the first row, first column cell has the data of a character vector ABCD, and because there's only 4 characters, it will list it in the curly bracket. However, to the last data element at second row, second column, it is a numerical array, and it has more data values in that array, so it just shows the properties or the description of that data. This is usually what you see in the workspace. If you want to get the value of the data, or sometimes we call it the content of the element, then you need to use the curly brackets. Here, we're going to retrieve the first element data and the last element data. So as you see that the result will be listed as the data itself. So the first will be a character vector ABCD, and you can see it is without the curly brackets, and the last data will be listed as a 2-dimensional numerical array with the values specifically listed. If you want to delete the elements of the data in a cell array, there are 2 ways to do it. The first is to delete the content of the cell element. In that case, what you do is to get rid of the data, but not get rid of the cell element. This is how you're going to do. So here we're going to show what's in the cell array A, and then we're going to assign a empty array to the first row, first column array element, and then we see what's happening. And in this case, what you will see that here originally we have a ABCD, and then we just remove the ABCD, the data. But the size of the cell array does not change. However, if you want to remove the cell element, in this case, you will use a parenthesis, and this operation is the same as a regular array. You simply remove the cell element. So here, we're going to remove the first row. And this is what's going on. This is the original cell array, and we're going to assign the first row with the empty array, and in that case, that row will be removed, and here is the result. So this will be what is left, which was originally the second row.